Okay, I stayed at home and you did too, but Texas was hot.
Well, I'm glad we wasn't there.
Well, I was wanting to be there with about 25 laps to go
until they had the last caution
flag.
It was looking good till they had the last caution.
Well, the last one was okay with new tires with lace.
But then they had all them 2 or 3 cautions and didn't have a chance to catch up. Then he got in a wreck, you know.
Well, he got in a wreck, and the wreck, he didn't cause it or nothing, but he got in it, and he would have done good, Richard, with the 4 tires, because that's what had got him up there all day.
The way I looked at it, there was probably 4 really good cars, and he was one of them. There's a 23, the 5 car, and 11 car. And we could outrun the 11 car because we raced with him, but the 5 car was head and shoulders above everybody.
Okay, there, say when the next to the last caution come out, before the 5 wrecked itself, the 5 was getting away from the 43, and the 43 was getting away from the 11, and the 23 was fading. So
I'm fading really fast.
It was the 5, the 43, and the 11. If you want to rate them there, that's the way I rate them.
Well, that's the way I read it.
Okay,
those seemed to be. You know, the one got up there and ran a little while, but then they ran off and left him.
Yeah.
And it looked like that whoever was in front ran the quickest, but the deal was that the 5 car, with new tires and stuff, he could outrun us, the 43 car, about 31 hundredths a lap. I mean, it was under. And then after they run about 15 to 20 laps, it stabled up.
Yeah,
and then the 43 run as fast as the 5 car, but he was already 3 or 4 seconds behind.
And there wasn't no catching up running the same speed.
There wasn't no catching up, no.
But it's still...
The 42 car, I thought, ran really good for a while. And then from one lap to another, he started losing a second. So I don't know really what happened.
He hit the wall.
Okay.
He was passing the 22 and hit the wall real hard.
Okay, then that... And he was ruined the rest of the race.
Yeah.
But he was going to be up in there pretty good too.
He's just been outstanding. I think every time he's got in our car and even the 7 car when he broke the rotor.
I've really been impressed with the way he's driven. You know what I mean?
But
and he stayed out of trouble and still done a lot of racing. You know what I mean?
But Richard, you know, just looking back at the Texas race, and it's amazing how. Some of the good cars, the 22, the 19, the respectable cars.
Yes, you know
they're not good.
You don't understand that. You know but see, in the last 4 races, the 5 car and the 11 car have been the predominant cars, and nobody's really challenged them at all. You mean
the 24 won the race and wasn't even in the race all day.
He wasn't even in the race.
Exactly. I mean,
what happened to the 9 car there? Because the 9 car was. What, 3rd or 4th when they had that restart?
Well, I don't know,
And he wound
Richard.
up, 9th or something like that?
The 9 car finished 11th.
Okay, anyhow. I don't know whether he got in trouble, hit somebody, or, I don't.
But the 34, Richard, he run up in there with a Ford all day.
To begin with.
And the 6 and the 17 was good.
Right.
And the people, of course, Bubba's keeping himself alive. Well,
Bubba could run good when he was out front, and he really run good, but then he faded real bad.
Yeah, his long runs wasn't very good.
And then when he got back in traffic, he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but there again, the pit stops, right early, the 3 lost the wheel, and we've done that. We've done that at Darlington. I say the 43 done that at Darlington, and what do you do?
All the rest of the racing organizations, big deals, have got the one lug nut. Why does Cup people have trouble and nobody else? And basically, our pit crews should be better than anybody else's because they used to have to do 5 lugs. You know what I mean? And they done a good job.
Well, this
most
is
of
a
the
different
time,
crew, but
it was very, very unusual when the guys done 5 lugs that they didn't get at least 3 of them tight enough that the wheels didn't come off. You mean, or break?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, but there's a lot of pressure on them, and of course there'll be a lot of pressure on them this coming week at Talladega because they'll group pit, And then if you get sideways or mess up and you lose the draft,
your history.
You just hold your breath. And I wouldn't want to be a spotter. I wouldn't want to have to go over the wall.
No, really, you got really 2 wild card races coming up. Talladega is like Daytona. You start the race, you never know. If you stay out of trouble, you're going to finish pretty good, but you got to be in the right place at the right time on the last lap. And then they go to the Roval, and anything can happen there. No matter how good you run, all you got to do is run off the track one time and your history. So
what do you do to stay out of trouble at Talladega?
Okay, to stay out of trouble, when they throw the green flag, get in the back and let them go.
Yeah, let them lap you in about 30 laps. That'd be smart because they'll do it. Because they'll run about 10 mile an hour in a group faster than they will by yourself.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
For sure, but we're getting ahead to Charlotte. It's interesting. You've won a couple of championships when it was real close, and of course we've won some when we just had to finish. I say we, but it was you, and
it's when it comes down to the nitty gritty, I got no idea who the top 4 is going to be, and you're going to have to wait to see who they are in order to say, okay, I think he runs better at Phoenix than the other 3 cars, but. Again, that's why we race. We race to find out who's going to be there when it's all over with.
But you're saying that, Richard. But the top maybe 3 or 4's got just about a race in points on the next 4. Yeah, as
far as not being eliminated.
Exactly.
And,
so
I didn't understand that. Like the 19 car just did make the break, and then all of a sudden he's back all the way at the top and got 23. Him and the 24 had 23 more points, than the last place guy, and they went back to. I didn't understand that.
From 1st to 12th, there's a big point gap for sure, and I'd rather be in first place and have the points than be in 12th place for sure.
The best thing to do is just go win a race, and then you're automatically in. And that's the name of the game, guys.
And that's what
somebody's going to win the next 2 races. Okay,
yep, exactly.
It might be the same guy. I don't know.
And we'll be on the edge of our seat at Talladega, and might get a little relaxed at Charlotte on the Roval. But I think they're going back to the flag for the stages. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, and that's just to bunch them back up because they get so separated.
But coming up on the stages, you just about want to be running pretty good, but 11th place where you can stop 2 laps before they close the pits.
And not lose a lap.
And not lose a lap. And then when the first 10 pit, so.
Anyhow, it's going to be some strategy, more strategy on the road course than it is at Talladega. There's not a whole lot of strategy at Talladega. You stop when everybody else stops, and you go when everybody else goes.
The first thing you want to do at Talladega survive, and then Charlotte you can go and use some strategy. So that's where we at. But we should have been talking about Texas, where the 43 and the 42 both had a good run. It just the way it turned out.
It just wasn't meant to be.
No, but I'll tell you one thing. The sponsor on the 43 got some good time.
All right, I guess we'll get ready.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go. You're going to go to Talladega, right?
I'm planning on it.
Okay. Then we'll both be at Charlotte. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.